what's going on, guys? Jeff Koga here, and I'm actually shooting this video, the Sunday Fun Day YouTube Sunday video on actually a Saturday night. And the reason why I'm doing that is we're going out tonight and to celebrate for C.O.R.E.I, and I want to make sure that at least I can have some good quality video for you tomorrow, instead of me kind of having bags under my eyes, probably eyes red shot, and not being able to give quality content. Now, so check this out. Last week, if you haven't seen the video, click on the link somewhere on here where I explain how you can literally learn how to do this business without any of your own cash, your own credit, and any experience whatsoever. And I actually got a lot of calls from folks, and I even got emails from folks asking me what it's all about. So the link should be somewhere on the page. If you haven't seen the video, click on the button and watch the video so I don't have to re-explain it. But one guy asked me, his name is iCloser. I guess he's a big closer. So iCloser said, what you're doing is a good idea. You are looking for bird dogs, but if I put the contract together and turn it over for you to close, at that point, I'm being more than a little Boy Scout. Okay, I'm wholesaling, and are you open to more than 50% split if you find the buyer and I do all the legwork, including my own marketing dollars? Now, here's the thing, iCloser, is we're bona fide investor and buyers. We're rehabbers ourselves that we like to buy, fix, and flip. So, yes, absolutely. If that's the case, just wholesale us the property with all day long, and we'll take down the property, and you don't even have to split profits whatsoever. Now, if it's a special type of deal where, for whatever reason, capitalization, or it's a deal that's not sexy for us, then we don't take down, then yeah, absolutely, we can do some type of a JV type of deal, and we can work something out. So I said, hey, you know what, email me the transaction or email me the deals, and we can take a look and we'll do a case by case. But for folks that are out there, and why, you know, other wholesales and stuff like that typically work with us, is because we give out a lot of our marketing concepts, like this video that you're watching and stuff like that, but more of the actual hardcore the technical aspect of sending out direct mail campaigns, right? What type of list are we hitting? How many times are we hitting that list? How are we actually funneling the call? Are we taking the phone calls from a direct inbound to a salesperson, or are we taking that call from a 24-hour message that they listen to, and then from the message it has key words in there and choices of words that will go ahead and have the seller take immediate action, so that way they'll go ahead and leave a message, and then you can go ahead and, as they say, separate the wheat from the chaff, or something like that. I don't even know how that statement goes, but I think something like that. And so that way you can go ahead and make sure that you're only talking to qualified, bona fide sellers. And after you speak with them, the big thing is follow-up. How's your follow-up mechanism set up and so forth? Why? Because as anyone in sales will always tell you, is it always takes about like 7 no's before you get a yes, right? So those are some of the stuff that we actually teach and we actually give out, so that way folks can be very successful. And the folks that actually do direct mail campaigns, basically even with our company stuff or even with their stuff, how we have it set up is we take off those marketing fees off the top. So if its assignment fee is 10 grand, you spend 2 grand for that month or whatever, we take it off the top, and then we split the profit that way, right? So we try to be fair as possible, but the best thing is shoot the deals over and stuff like that. So pretty cool stuff. Now, also, last week I spoke about a deal that I was working on. It was a gentleman who was named as Coolidge. First name is Coolidge, right? A very unique name. And it was a property out in LA. And if you don't know the backstory, watch that video, like I said, from last week. But the short story of it is this seller contacted us about over a year and a half ago, where myself and Joe, another acquisition guy, sat down, pitched him on what he needed to do so he can go and avoid foreclosure. Why? Because this guy has been in foreclosure multiple times, and he contacted us and says, hey, you know what, can you help me out here? And we looked at the transaction, and it was it's not a sexy deal because you have the shared driveway, no garage whatsoever. It's dinky, 2-bedroom, 1 bath in a pretty rough area of LA. So the purpose of it is just to hold on to it. You know, it's probably difficult to flip out, so we wanted to hold on to it if we get it at a good price. And how we were going to structure it is a subject to deal, take over the payments of that underlying loan, cure that default, and fix it up and then tenant it out, so that way we have the least amount of capital output, and then possibly locking it into like a 30-year convention or something like that. But on Monday of this past week, he contacted me and said, Jeff, yeah, I want to work with you still. Please contact me. So I call him that afternoon, and he says, you know what, I'm busy, I'm going to get back to you. Now, his foreclosure sale date was on Wednesday, okay? He has it listed at $110,000 $80,000 on the MLS. Okay, previously to that, with another listing agent, he had it for $120,000, but it was sitting there for, I believe, like 60 days, 90 days plus with no activity whatsoever. Now we went with a new agent, listed it for $110,000. I said, you're out of your mind if you think you're $110, but he said there was a lot of people who came and saw the property, so he felt good that he was going to sell it, and he thought he knew how to play the game to stop the foreclosure from the bank who was foreclosing. Why? Because he said he's going to do a bankruptcy and stop that, even though when I looked at his history, he used the bankruptcy already from the last stopping his last foreclosure sale. So my gut told me that the bank probably did a relief of stay or something like that, filed that document with the court's office to take that out of bankruptcy protection, and I knew that the bank wanted to foreclose. Why? Because they had an opening bid, and the opening bid at that time was $82,000. So any savvy investor, when they see that, they will never buy that on the MLS when you can buy it at the court steps for $82,000. Why would you pay even 110 on that, or 120, which it was previously listed for, right? But if you're a smart investor, what you would do is actually contact that listing agent at the 110, say, hey, I'm interested in 110, but let me take a look at inside the property, right? Why? Because when the house goes to foreclosure on Wednesday, you can go out there and you can bid on that property knowing that you saw the house on the inside, and then possibly, depending on the relationship you had with that listing agent, you may be able to get that seller out quickly as possible, and then you'll be able to start your work and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure either one, it's going to take only like $1 or $2 grand to evict that person, so it'll be very cheap, or you're going to do cash for keys and give them $2,000 to $3,000 to walk, versus you know, I was going to give him $5,000. But long story short, I pulled it up. It's let me pull it up. Actually, I wish I had this up ahead of time, so sorry about that. Let me pull this up and I'll tell you what happened with this. Okay, opening bid was $82,000, which was the amount that the court was going to go ahead and foreclose on, and the opening bid for, and winning bid as it stands on August 22nd went up to $117,000, and it does say sold to third-party trustee. So the program I'm using is foreclosureradar.com to pull this information. Unfortunately, the title information is not updated. Why? Because the owner of it, of this particular foreclosed property, the investor that bought it, since we're in the state of California and it's a trustee auction, that trustee's deed they are going to receive. When I say they, the investor who bought it at the court step for $117,000, they're going to receive that within about a week or so. So until they record that, I don't know who the owner is, but it does show that clearly that it was sold for $117,000. So yeah, it was listed on the MLS for $110,000, but it sold for $117,000, and you know, unfortunately, he couldn't avoid foreclosure. So it's a sad situation for the seller, because he could not really understand the numbers, and he was trying to play games, right? The biggest thing was he was telling me a payoff amount of $97,000, and then he's flip-flopping from 97 to 91, and I'm offering $5,000, and my number calculation was based on a payoff of $97,000. So that delta difference from the 97 to 91, that's $6,000 or so, I could have gave him additionally on top of that $5,000, which would have gave him $11,000 in net cash to the pocket for him to walk away from the deal. But unfortunately, for, you know, ourselves, the big thing for him, because he got hit with the foreclosure now because of that, so his credit is jacked up and everything else, and he's probably going to get $1,000 or $2,000, and depending on, you know, how stubborn he is, he may get evicted and have actual unlawful detainer filed against him, and more bad shit to happen. Sorry about my language. So that's what happens sometimes in deals, you know, where you as the investor, you're more of a consultant. I hate to use the word consultant because in California we have to abide by Civil Code 2945, especially if you're, you know, speaking with folks that's in foreclosure and they have equity, and that's the foreclosure consultant law. So you're violating that if you call yourself a consultant. But all honesty, the real truth is, really in anything, is some people say that if you're in sales, really you're not selling anything. What you're doing is you're really educating the client on how it benefits them by them working with your services that you can provide to them. And that's where your moral obligation, where if you know what's right for them, you have to go ahead and do the right thing and be able to go ahead and explain to folks that you can possibly save. Now, you know, you can't save everyone, and this is a plain example of a deal that kind of was lost, as they say, right? Even though, yeah, we could have still made something happen. So don't know yet. You know, worst case scenario, they may have reversed the sale, which I hardly doubt, because in the state of California, if it's a bona fide third-party trustee sale, it's like near impossible possible to reverse that. So, and on top of that, he's in a 90003 zip code in LA. So if you're going to try to reverse that, you're going to need some firepower, some legal power. And, if you had the money, one, you would have probably postponed that sale date anyways if you had the money. And two, if you had that money to find that legal counsel to go and, turn that around, what are you doing? You're throwing good money after bad money now. So, what can you do? So another lost deal, but hey, you know what? Not too bad. So, but anyways, other than that, last week was a fabulous week. We had a total of 5 closing that we did. One day we did like 3 closing, and we funded on 2 other flip outs. So it's been kind of crazy for us working. On top of that, we've added some couple new things with our acquisition team. One guy who started with us about 2 months ago, Robin, right? Congratulations to him. He did his first, as they say, 2 flips, as they call it. So we closed on confirmed on Thursday. So that was an awesome thing. So those folks who say that, hey, you know what, this business is very difficult to do. No, it's very easy as long as you follow a very set formula or the step-by-step plan and the course of action to take, because a lot of times investors who's getting started in this business, their brains will get cluttered with a lot of noise, as they call it. So they're focusing on things that you don't even need to focus on, right? A plain example right now is I got a guy right now, a wholesaler, who had this super cool bandit sign when I was driving around today looking at properties or project sites, and it said like "We Buy Houses" vanity sign. And I called it, and he shoots me an email with his contact, and he said, yeah, you know what, I'll have my website up and blah, blah, blah. But really, if you're wholesaling, do you need a website? No, you don't even need a website. All you need is an email address and a phone number, right? Pretty much. Why? Because this real estate game is so simple, so simple. Oh man, the Asian side came out. That you need 2 parts. One is deals, right? Find the deals, find the good deals, lead generate them, and then 2, you just need to find a bona fide buyer to go ahead and wholesale the properties to. So for us, we are the bona fide buyer, so you don't need to even look for that if you're in LA. If it's an out-of-state deal, I've never flipped an out-of-state deal other than the ones that earlier on in my career back in like '08 and stuff like that. I was doing some virtual stuff, but never quite put it all together. But if it's a smoking deal, now I'm somewhat comfortable, so I'll entertain it. So if you have that, email that to us also. But predominantly in LA County, if the numbers make sense, we will look at it. We will take it down, as I stated. So that's what I have for you today on this Sunday or this Saturday, which you'll be watching this video on Sunday, I guess. So, and if you haven't seen the last week's video, watch it again. As I said, leave me a comment. And once again, we will be running our training modules for our new program that we rolled out, a teamwork system program where you get to learn while you earn type of program very shortly. So make sure you sign up, click on that button, go to that website that's on the screen right now, and I will see you on Tuesday for Flippinese Tuesday, where we'll actually showcase those 5 projects that we just bought and some of the lessons and stories, and some crazy stuff happened, man. Like today I almost got stung by like wasps because I was being a silly kid throwing rocks at a wasp's nest. So you get to see that this Tuesday. So if you haven't subscribed to that other channel, and leave me a comment, and I will catch you on Flippinese Tuesday. Jeff Koga, and I am signing out. And say hi to. Ooh, hello. Hi.